Fun fact, the only way the bat will let you shoot him is with a camera. Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave, that's my boring background, this is Toypixx, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to composite an image using Photoshop as well as several figures from the Medicom Mafex Batman Hush line, my favorite action figure subline, I believe 3 or 4 years running at this point. Whew, is a good line. Now remember, the QR code is in the bottom corner for you to scan and get your free action figure photography guide, as well as get signed up for the Toypixx newsletter. And don't worry, if you're not into the QR code thing, there is a link in the video description below as well. And remember to stick around to the end of the video where I show you today's Toypixx photo, as well as the Patreon freebie, which, let's be honest, at this point, that is crazy redundant because everything I post on Patreon is free. Now, with all that said, let's get to that photo, shall we? Well, actually we're compositing, so let's get to those 2 photos. Here's the setup for the first shot of the composite. Now you can see here I have the camera pretty close because it's going to help me get this angle here, kind of like that. And you want it good and dramatic, you want it a little closer. The telephoto lens wouldn't be able to do that angle, it would be a lot flatter. So I'm using the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. This Dio is from High School Creations. That iPad, the light on there, is from an app that I talk about quite a bit called Best Nightlight. And then that is a red filter over a Neewer panel light. And then you've got the Black Cape Batman there, you've got Nightwing, both from Hush, surrounded by some Cobra Troopers, because I haven't been shooting a whole lot of G.I. Joe, and Cobra Troopers are pretty rad. So there it is, that's the setup for the first shot of the composite. Now, what I'll be doing is using my camera to kind of light up Bats and Nightwing a little bit so you see them, so they kind of pop a little bit, which, as a graphic designer, I hate it when people say pop, but that's the best way I could think of to describe that. Basically, their color will separate more from the red of the background. Yeah, there it is. We'll go with that. So, I'm going to shoot that, and then I'll set up the next shot. And this is the setup for the second picture. Much simpler. We have the camera way up here because I want to make sure that we get Harley in the shot. As we all know, Harley and Mr. J don't quite get along like they used to. So we've got this blue light coming up to give him kind of that creepy look. And we've got Harley kind of sneaking up. Hang on. Sneaking up on Mr. J like she's going to smack him in the head. Now, I should have mentioned in the prior video, I wanted it to be warm and hot, like, ooh, there's a big time, something's about to go down there. That's why all the red. In this one, it's a lot more cool, it's a lot more sinister. So the way the composite's going to work is Joker's kind of looking down at the image that we see with Batman and Nightwing, where he kind of set that plan in motion that looks like it's leading to his destruction. But still, even in this moment of triumph, someone is sneaking up on him to sort of, bop him on the head. So that's why I've got the blue light. It's kind of a cooler idea there. I also will be using my phone to backlight them a little bit. And on my phone and on the iPad for this one will also be Best Nightlight. It's just a really good app for getting whatever color you want. So now I'm going to shoot this photo and then take it to the computer. Alright, now, here's the Batman and Nightwing photo straight out of the camera. I haven't done any work whatsoever to that. And then here is the Joker and Harley shot straight out of the camera. I haven't done any work to that either. Now you'll notice in the Joker and Harley shot here, I left a lot of room on the bottom. I left a lot on the top too, but that's just because I wanted to crop this and get Harley's height just right for what I was envisioning. But there's also a lot of room at the bottom here, and that's because when I go to do the compositing, This part's going to be at the top, and I'm going to need to mask some of this off to show off the image that'll be at the bottom of the image, which is this Batman and Nightwing image, which is why, again, I left all this room at the top there, so that that could happen. Now, you'll see my phone light up here even, because I knew that I was going to leave a ton of light, or a ton of space up here, just so I could make all that go on. The other stuff I have open up here, well, you gotta have the Toypixx logo, and then this is the file I'll be pasting those two images into so we can make this work, so I can make this work. Oh boy, I gotta stop that. Okay, so all I'm gonna do here is Command A to select the whole thing, then Command C to copy, and just drop it right in there. It's sized perfectly for the size of these photos already. And now same deal here. Command A, sorry, then Command C to copy, and Command V to paste. Now, Joker and Harley are going to be at the top of the image. So, a little more like this. And then Batman and Nightwing, what I'll do, I'm going to use a little trick here that I use when I'm doing stuff like this. I'm going to just lower the opacity on that top area so I can see what's below it a little easier. And so now Batman and Nightwing are more down here. And because of all this empty space kind of towards the ground there, let's zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Because of all this down here that you really don't, it doesn't really do much for the image, I will probably upsize the Batman and Nightwing part just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, because I want to make sure that you've still got Joker and Harley, or the huge part, looking down on Bats and Nightwing. So I'm going to do that right now. Just size it up some. I know it looks like that was a lot more than some, but we're good. Scroll down here so you can see what I've got going on. Wrong scroll. There, that's a little better. And I'm going to drop it down even more. Even though Batman's foot is kind of... I always watch out for that stuff with those tangencies where it looks like a foot lines up directly with something else. In fact, we're going to raise this just a touch. There we go. Okay, I'm feeling better about that. I'm going to hit Enter. We'll keep that sized right there. We've got Joker. We'll do, let's see, what is the best way I can do this? Why don't I, because we want to make sure that below the Joker, this area down here, this area with Batman and Nightwing and the Cobra Troopers and all that gets exposed below the Joker there. So we can see it really easily. So, I'm going to back it out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask this part here, the Joker layer. Now, what you do there to mask, and I know it's kind of tough to see right now, but you can kind of see where the layers are, what the positioning is. In fact, let's move Joker and Harley up just a bit. So you can see sort of where the positioning is, and I know it's tricky, but I'm working on it. We'll make this happen. It'll work. And so now I'm going to hit the little mask icon that's in the layers panel towards the bottom of the layers panel. I'm going to click that, and I want black in the background there. So white foreground, black background. And now let's do feather of 255. That might be too much. What a feather does is it kind of really fades the image, and we want to fade. But I think 255 for the size of this image is too much. I'm going to try 150. We'll see if that does a little better. And now I'm going to hold down Shift and create a circle and just see what I get there. I'm going to raise that circle a little bit. And now, in the mask layer, which I could have done this a different way, but this is the way I went with it. So now we're going to hit white, hit OK, sorry. Going to hit black, go me. Alright, and you can see that Batman and Nightwing are totally exposed on the bottom there. And now, I'm going to raise the opacity on Joker and Harley. So that's a pretty simple composite that I've got going on there. Now I can see on the right side here that the iPad that was underneath Joker and Harley is showing a little bit. And I don't want that, so I can go into the mask layer, the mask part of the Joker and Harley layer, and grab... Let's see... Let's grab black, switch those two, which is something I should just know to do automatically. And now, with everything still set on fade, I'm gonna go in there, hit that, and just fill with black again. And that got rid of the iPad. So that's a pretty simple composite that I've put together there. Now I'm just gonna mess with it a little more, just because I can, and I'll see you back at the desk. And now, after making some adjustments to the old Photoshop file, here is the completed composite image. Now, let me know in the comments what you think, if this is something that you kind of dig learning how to do. I'll be honest, I'm still not the greatest teacher in the world. I am giving it a shot, but man, there were a lot of roundabout things I did to get to this thing. So don't worry, things are a lot simpler than I made them look. If you have any questions and were lost by what I was doing in the video, make sure and ask them in the comment section. Okie dokie. Now, with all that out of the way, it is time for today's Toypixx photo. Hey, bet you thought today's Toypixx photo was going to be the composite image I just did. No! Friends, it is Wolverine Wednesday, and so what I did instead was post this composite image using some Wolverine figures. It had been a while since I really got into compositing, so I wanted to do a little more playing with that, just because, truly, it's been so long. Anywho, there it is. I was having fun with Wolvie. I thought I'd put a couple of other Wolvies behind him, because the most current Wolverine figure I have would be that X-Force Wolverine. So then you have the brown suit behind him, you have him more in his kind of, when he's riding his Harley casual look on the other side. I just thought it'd be a fun little picture to, composite. Anywho, the QR code is there for you to scan, and that'll take you to the X, where you can comment with your own Wolverine Wednesday photo, or just let me know what you think of this one. Is it any good? Would you do something different with it? Just let me know the things, but really, preferably, I want to see your photos, because that's where the fun's at, isn't it? And now, it's time for today's Patreon freebie. Yesterday's Patreon freebie was a cabin in the mountainous, snow-covered woods. So I thought today, let's do the interior of that cabin in the mountainous, snow-covered woods, so we can get all our Snake Eyes and, frankly, Wolverine bases covered. So there you go. What you do there is you scan the QR code, you go to the Toypixx Patreon page, and you download that for free, and then you put it on your desktop or your laptop, wherever you want to put it, set up your figures in front of it, light them up, and get to shooting. That's what all these wallpapers are made for backgrounds, in case you've got really just boring backgrounds and you're having trouble coming up with not boring backgrounds. And I've said too much. Scan that QR code, go get you a cabin interior. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got for this one. So as always, thanks a ton for taking the time out of your day to check out the video. It is massively appreciated. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.